My name is Angelica Gonzalez, and today we will be discussing the evolution of sci-fi films. Let's take a moment and define what science fiction is. Science fiction is dealing principally with the impact of actual or imagined science on society or individuals, or having a scientific factor as an essential orienting component. What are some things that will give away the movie's genre? For example, a mad scientist, cyborgs, robots, universe, time traveling, Earth, massive destruction by other beings like aliens or special creatures, spaceships, anything like that will let you know that you're dealing with science fiction. And now for a little bit of history. The Lumiere brothers produced the first sci-fi film called La Charcuterie Mécanique, otherwise known as The Mechanical Butcher, in 1895. The reason why some consider this film to be sci-fi is merely due to the machine being an invention from the future to which you put a whole pig in and get perfectly cuts out on the other side. Others believe that Georges Méliès's film Le Voyage dans la Lune, or A Trip to the Moon, from 1902, should be considered the official first sci-fi film ever made, due to the photography trickery and the storyline of a man crashing right into the moon. Whichever you prefer, that was just the beginning. In 1910, Thomas Edison produced the original Frankenstein, a 16-minute black and white silent film that introduced the thought of a large monster much like a man into the sci-fi world. In 1916, Richard Fleischer came out with 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which was famous for the underwater shots that were done without actually going underwater or having underwater equipment. In 1925, The Lost World came out with a spin on sci-fi with prehistoric creatures, and in 1927, Metropolis took the audience in with a robot ready to take over the world. The 1930s introduced sci-fi films that have audio, such as Just Imagine, which was a musical film, King Kong, and Things to Come by H.G. Wells. In 1936, the first sci-fi comic strip serials were introduced, Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers. The Golden Age, or the Pulp Era, was known to be from 1937 to the late 1950s. During this time, a few films came out, Astounding, Forbidden Planet, and The Blob. In the 1950s, the first sci-fi films came out with color. Destination Moon, which was the first with Technicolor, Flight to Mars, which was the first with washed-out two-color Cinecolor, and When Worlds Collide. In the early 1950s came the paranoia era, where people believed in the possibilities. 1951 came The Day the Earth Stood Still. Then also the same year, The Thing from Another World. In 1954, Godzilla. The 1960s and 1970s proved to be good for sci-fi films. This became to be known as the New Wave era. Films such as the 2001 Space Odyssey and Star Wars did great at the box office during this time. During the 1980s, technology came to play a big role in sci-fi films. Films such as Tron, Terminator, RoboCop, and Akira introduced us to a level of technology never seen before. The 1990s heavily embraced the computer animation to show the end of the world. For example, The Matrix used a lot of the computer animations to show different tricks and different things that would get us to that sci-fi feeling. We live in a world where technology never ceases to stop improving. Point in case, the evolution of the films, the technology, and the new things that we're able to do with the movies these days. For example, the holograms, the 3D, the realistic features with the aliens, everything like that. I only foresee it going far beyond what we could even imagine. That concludes the program today. Thank you for watching.